You have heard that it was said, "You shall not commit adultery." But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Matthew 5, verses 27 and 28. I admit that with this video, for a while I have had a hard time putting into words the message I want to share. After racking my brain, I think the best way to start is just by being honest. I struggle with lust. More specifically, lustful thoughts. It's something that I've struggled with for a long time, though the intensity can come and go. And as of lately, it's been something I've been struggling with more and more frequently. Very intense sexual thoughts. Sometimes these thoughts leave as quickly as they come, but other times I find myself lingering on these thoughts. And I know I'm not the only one struggling with this issue. Lust is a very common problem nowadays, especially with how much sex is promoted in social media, Hollywood, and music. And it's not just lustful thoughts. People have grown more quick and willing to give in and indulge their sexual desires, which can lead to a lot of issues. Seeking the pleasure of sex without being ready to uphold the commitment and responsibility that Yahweh designed to go with it can lead to feelings of guilt and shame at the lack of self control, damaging relationships, whether by betraying trust to get gratification or using sexual pleasure instead of addressing issues in relationships, growing numb and depraved and addictive, and seeking more and more to satisfy sexual desires, even to the point of illegal activities, etc. Now, it's easy to explain the damage that can be done by physically acting on lust. But Yeshua makes it very clear in the Sermon on the Mount that looking at someone with lustful intent, having lustful thoughts, is exactly the same as actually committing lustful acts in Yahweh's eyes. Why might that be? On the surface, physically acting on lust seems much worse because we're causing tangible damage. The lustful thoughts and fantasies are only in our minds. They aren't really affecting anyone other than ourselves. With that logic, it can be very easy to wonder what the harm of lust is if it's just in our thoughts. Well, to answer that, I think we need to go to the book of James. Specifically, James 1, verses 14 and 15. James 1, verses 14 and 15 states, "Rather, each person is being tempted whenever he is being dragged off and enticed by the bait of his own desire. Then, having conceived, the desire gives birth to sin, and when sin is fully grown, it gives birth to death." I believe this verse is the key to understanding Matthew 5, verses 27 and 28, and Matthew 5, verses 21 and 22, might I add. James 1, 14 and 15 teaches us that our desires, the things we long for in our hearts and in our minds, are the starting point of our sins. And it makes sense. Our actions occur because we think or feel a certain way. The more we allow lustful thoughts to stay and dwell in our minds, the more we'll be tempted to actually act on them. Not to mention the fact that entertaining lustful thoughts shows the true state of our hearts. When we actively lust after someone, even if it's just in our minds, it shows the lack of respect we have for Yahweh's creation. We turn people that Yahweh fearfully and wonderfully made in His image into nothing more than objects for our pleasure. We turn sex, a beautiful gift Yahweh designed to create life and strengthen the bonds between husbands and wives, into something that's just there for gratification. This is why we are called to take all thoughts captive in Yeshua's name, so that we can truly honor Yahweh in body, mind, heart, and soul.